Let's do our CougarBoard question of the week just before we bring on the head man of the BYU dunk team. That's how we're rolling.
We're talking about game day all day today.
And we'll get DJ over here. We'll get our mics all straightened out. The CougarBoard question of the week. If you're not familiar with CougarBoard, it's the largest online community of BYU fans. Thousands of posts every day. This question comes from Seth J250, one of their insider subscribers. The revenue sports at BYU are all in a great place right now. Certainly seem to be.
Yes.
What will need to happen in the future to sustain that? I'll tell you what needs just 4 more of the students we just had in here.
Yeah.
And those are the best of the best. And as BYU rolls out the best of the best, they're just going to continue to succeed. And support comes into support. People like this that we just had are student athletes, and these are athletes and they're students, so they're student athletes as well. But winning is it, right? You win and it just keeps going.
Yeah, and people get excited about it. And he asked what it's going to take. And BYU understands what it takes, from financial resources to having great coaches to being able to recruit the very, very best, right? Which they've done. Even in our cheer squad and our Cougarettes, these are the top in the world. Best athletes, great kids. It really is amazing. So they got to continue to be able to recruit and keep up from a revenue perspective and keep up from a funding and support perspective. Like, we keep being hopeful, and I know coaches are hopeful, that this whole NIL thing starts to get some fences put around it and there's some guidelines. Because right now it feels a little bit like an arms race where people are just racing to the top. And although it feels like it, BYU, on a lot of these athletes they're not the highest bidder. And I love that Keanu Tanavasa came on and said, no, I didn't come to BYU because they paid me more money. It's very similar.
Yeah.
I came down because this is a culture I wanted to be part of and where I wanted to be. And I can tell you that across the board, BYU's just not going out and outbidding people for these great players. They're selling a combination of, we'll be competitive, we're not going to be the highest, but we're also going to provide a culture for you to grow and be the very best at what you're doing. And we're going to provide you with opportunities to succeed. And we're going to give you world-class coaching. And when you partake in this culture, you're going to love it. And that's how they're getting it. So it's all of those things. They have to be competitive from a support and an NIL perspective. But they're not going to go out and try to win an arms race on that. And we just hope it all gets kind of reeled in a little bit and that there's some guidelines around it so this doesn't get crazy.
Yeah, and just to echo your point, it's working for BYU.
Yeah.
Look where they're going with their athletic programs. Look at this basketball team they've amassed. You amassed that with NIL. Yeah. And so if people ask, hey, how's it going over there? Well, the football team just went 11-2, and basketball just has the number 2 recruiting class in the country. It's going pretty good over here.
But here's the thing, and this is what I hope people understand. BYU has resources, and when we bring Carlos on, he understands that as well as anybody, because he's kind of close up seat on all of that. Mm-hmm. But that's not the thing that is the linchpin. Because do you think we're outbidding North Carolina and Duke and Kentucky for these kids? Like, when I talked to Yegor Demon in depth about why he came here, it wasn't because BYU was the highest bidder. Right. And it wasn't for AJ. And
now,
it wasn't
BYU's
for Kaba.
A competitive bidder, but they don't have to be the highest.
That's what I'm saying. You have to have the resources to be competitive. But I think BYU, especially up north, has the reputation. They'll just pay more than anybody else will pay. That is not the case.
Yeah, that's just easy to say.
BYU is doing an unbelievable job of, in addition to saying we have resources to pay you a fair amount, we also will provide you with the best culture for you to advance, to get better, and to win of anybody we're competing with. And when you have both of those things, you have the number 2 recruiting class in the country. You have to have both.